And I'm the storyteller from the future, and I've come back to enable you to survive what is to come. And that's why I created Riot. Riot is an emotionally responsive live-action film that uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition and watches you as you watch it. However, before I go any further, I kind of get the sense that not everybody in this room is taking my word for it that I'm from the future. That might be because you're like the wired for wonder people, you're quite smart. So, because of the severity of the situation and because we're actually running out of time, I'm going to do something I really shouldn't do. I'm going to break protocol number 3672B, and I'm going to tell you something about the future I could not possibly know unless I've come from it. You see, in the time that you currently live, you control every single aspect of technology. In the time where I come from, technology controls every single aspect of our society. So you see, when it comes to something like your driverless cars, like an Uber, your main concern is about safety. However, in the time where I come from, the main concern is security. You see, if you were to call a driverless Uber and you have very minor violations out against you, say like some outstanding car parking tickets, when that vehicle comes and you step into it and the AI determines who you are, that vehicle will go into what is known as a lockdown state and will become a metal box. And the vehicle will be what is known as a police temporary transportation vehicle. And no, you won't be going to the party or wherever you wanted to go when you called the vehicle. You'll end up going straight to the local police station for processing. This is your future, so welcome to it. So, at the moment, the AI is designed by people who are not of color and not minorities. So it's not designed to benefit them. So in the future, the AI is used as a form of oppression and suppression. And that's why I've come back, to make you aware about the power and the future of storytelling. So why storytelling, you might ask? I'm going to take you back to your past to show you exactly why storytelling. You see, you've always used storytelling as a powerful form of communication, from the very beginning of time.
3, 2, 1.
So ancient religions and scriptures always knew the power of storytelling. They were called mandalas, or wheel of life. This is a Buddhism one. And it conveys to you very complex themes through symbolism. Even today, behavioral psychology cognitive developers have proven that storytelling is more akin to changing your mind on a topic than just rational discussion. Also, storytelling was always about mythology and empowering you and making you more conscious of the world around you.
All the myths have to deal with is transformation of consciousness. That you're thinking in this way, and you have now to think in that way.
So that was the past. However, I'm going to move us forward a little bit to your present. You see, in the time that you live, the equivalent of a reality construct, the closest thing, even though it isn't the exact same thing, is your media. And your media lacks consciousness. So let me take you to your present day and what happens when your reality constructs lack consciousness. Oppression, suppression, all over the world. And that's why I created Riot. Riot is an emotionally responsive live-action film that uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition. So the film watches you as you watch it, and it will respond. So if you respond to the film with anger, it will branch in one direction. If you respond with fear, it will branch in another. You experience the Riot inside an installation environment, and that's the webcam watching you, and the AI is inside the webcam watching the person. You're surrounded by ambisonic sound and a set design. It's a gaming interface. You even have scent and haze to complete the environment. I'm now going to show you a small snippet of the Riot experience, and the first level where you come into contact with the Riot cop, and then there's 3 people afterwards who have 3 different narratives, and they're talking about the experience they had.
Wake up! Wake up! What are you doing? Some civilians are supposed to be here. Leave immediately! I said, leave immediately! Leave immediately!
And just seeing that cop screaming and thinking that it could be my child, my black child, who one day may incite fear just because of the color of his skin, just got me so angry, and I guess it just registered.
It was scary to be shot at, and which then led me to, well, be detained by the police officer, actually. The fact that that's how it is in a real situation. You react scared and it escalates, and then you become pushed into a position where then suddenly you're criminalized or something.
Leave. That way now!
In any situation, I normally stay calm, so even though there were distractions and things, but for me, my instinct is to go calmer and breathe and calm myself down.
So what inspired me to create this film? I used to direct music videos and TV commercials in the entertainment industry, and I became completely aware of the power of just linear film and how it would almost connect with people as if they were a receiver of a message or a concept or even identity. It was like projecting something onto them. And I was searching for a way to use media to empower the participant, as I felt they were being disempowered. At the same time, I started doing parkour. Parkour is an urban inner city sport about being more efficient, moving from point A to point B. However, parkour is really about moving through your own fear. And to me, that is integral to finding who we are, and never more so in the world that we're living today. So in essence, what I created was a reality construct using technology. And what happened is that the participants realized that as the film responded to their emotions, that in their real life also responded to their emotions in the exact same way. I'm going to show you a little snippet here of how this affected people quite profoundly, because it actually created an environment of transformation.
Oftentimes it's destructive to the people who are fighting for justice, you know, because we were allowed to only do these things inside our own communities, and Brixton's in the world, and the Brooklyn's in the world.
Your hand started going in and out like this, then your chest puffed up, then the back of your neck just
falls
flickered.
in like machine mode, like I will do anything to achieve my mission and protect my people.
So it was both very powerful and vulnerable at the same
why don't
time.
I see what's right, and then I can always come back for the
Whatever
second
form of
part. I just want to
release,
make
I
sure.
had me as the watching, being a witness to what was
I
happening.
mean, either way.
So the technology is the format, but the heart of it is the science that have woven and fused within the experience that consists of these disciplines here. I've called the methodology advanced storytelling cognitive development, because what it does is that it makes you conscious of your subconscious behavior. And if you choose to go through the experience more than once, you can actually reprogram yourself neurologically by using the film as a practice to changing how you respond to certain situations. I'm going to tell you a story about a young lady who did the experience in Armory Arts Week in New York. She did the experience and she didn't get past the first level. She got fear. And I asked her, was that accurate? And she said, yes. She kind of felt herself becoming smaller, which is a very kind of classic thing. You might see that in nature with animals. When they feel under attack, they make themselves smaller. I said to her, would you like to have another go? Because you can reprogram your brain neurologically. She said, I would love to have another go because I'm into reprogramming my brain, but I just feel too nervous to do so. I said, why are you into reprogramming your brain? Like, that's like a really weird thing to be into. And she said, well, I'm going to tell you because I'm never basically going to see you again. I'm in AA, and I'm looking at what's actually triggering my addictions. So we spoke a little bit more, and then she said, you know what? I want to have another go. So she went through the first level, and this time she got calm. And then the second level, she got fear. And I said to her, was that accurate? And she said, yes, absolutely. I could feel myself pushing past this emotion of fear, but I couldn't maintain it. I said, do you think you can access this in your day-to-day life outside of this reality construct film installation environment? And she said, yeah, it's something that she feels she could do. So I gave her a hug and she left. Basically, what happened is that the Riot experience showed that she was actually the projector of her own personal reality, as opposed to being a receiver of somebody else's. For the latter part of my talk, I'm going to talk a little bit about the tech side of things. I didn't do this at the top, because when it comes to AI, sometimes it can be like separated from the humanity side of where we're at, and we're not aware of the full consequences of what we're doing. But I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail now. So here's a definition for artificial intelligence. I don't know if you guys have heard of AS. Probably not, because I made it up. But this is what I think computers are, because it's up to us as humans to make them intelligent. Now, this is quite a significant definition, machine learning. So machine learning is a type of AI that provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed, which basically means it's like teaching a child something, and then you teach the child something once, and then you leave the child to go away and practice it. And then what the child comes back and shows you is their interpretation. It's not an accurate portrayal of what you did. That's basically what machine learning is in computers. It's teaching itself over and over. And after it starts teaching itself, we lose control. Now, there are lots of potential consequences for something like this. One of them in particular is regarding something called bias. And this is a concern that a leading developer has at Google. That many people have bias. That's just the world we live in. And if these people are creating AIs, they're going to be programming bias into their AI unbeknown to them. And these AIs are going to have decision-making kind of consequences on our life in terms of the position they have. So an example of this is Twitter, where Microsoft created an AI, and they put it on Twitter, and within 24 hours, the users on Twitter had taught the AI how to be racist. This is all out there. Another serious consideration is that much of this is private. So it hasn't privately created by private organizations, so there's not policies or regulations governing it as yet. So there's an AI system in the UK that its sole purpose is to support judges and show them what sentence the person should have. This has been proven to be biased against poor people. There's another system in America called Compass that does exactly the same thing, has been proven to be biased against people of color. There are serious consequences for this software and AI moving forward. So I was recently on an AI artist residency with a company called ThoughtWorks, and we made exploring bias one of our #1 priorities as I continue to develop the Riot project, as it's currently still a prototype. What we did is that we created something called a neural net, which is basically the structure for the AI, and then the data sets is what you use to train it. And we looked at how we could create neural nets and data sets that would make a system either not biased, which we found is not really very easy, or maybe expose bias. So this is part of my exploration work moving forward. Also, as well as looking at the technology, it's very important to look at the behavioral psychology. So I'm currently working with NYU psychology department and a leading professor there called Emily Blackett. and this is to give you an idea of the type of research we're doing, is that she was studying observers watching dash cam footage of police brutality, and she could see from their eye tracking their bias. So basically, if they look at an image like this or video like this, and the trajectory of the eye tracking is following the perception of the cop, they're biased about the perception of the cop. If the eye tracking is following that of the person being brutalized, they're empathetic towards that person. Basically, when it comes to some of these complex issues, particularly regarding race, people of color and white people in different cultures are basically looking at completely different parts of the screen. And that's where they're having completely different conclusions on the same situation. I said to Emily, if I was able to influence someone's eye tracking, could I possibly influence their bias and their perception? And she said, in theory, yes. So that's something that we're currently looking into. And now I want to take you to your future and also make you aware that this future is not yet set. So I'm here today to show you this future, be in this space with you, and hopefully a few of you in this audience will see that this is something you can change.
Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
2018 today, China is developing and prototyping a new social credit system. You can check that on Google as soon as you leave here. Basically, it integrates your digital identity and your real-life identity. So basically, if you go on China's equivalent of Facebook and you say something detrimental about the government, it will limit your career prospects, your employment opportunities, your travel, and also what dating apps you can go on. I think that's nervous laughter. I hope it's nervous laughter. However, if you're positive towards the government, then you're going to have more prospects for your career and your dating apps and other areas of your life. This will be launched in Your Future, My Past in 2020, and the ramifications are catastrophic in terms of how it spreads like wildfire to other countries all around the world, and it becomes an integral part of our day-to-day life. Also in Your Future and My Past is 2024. What is launched by private organizations is immersive AI. That's basically AI all around you. Where the first system was designed by the government, this is designed by private and commercial and e-commerce organizations to sell you things all the time. It's gonna be like you're inside your telephone all the time, every day. So some of you might think that's gonna be really fun, but it's going to have psychological consequences to you and other areas which I really can't go into in this short talk. Also in 2019, I will finish the final Riot iteration, which will be a 360-degree film, multiplayer experience, and something called multimodality. So it won't just do the facial recognition, it will do eye tracking, it will do voice recognition, it will read the capillaries under your eye, it will be an impenetrable data set all around you. You won't have a wearable tech on you, but it will be making you conscious of your bias and your subconscious behavior. Traditionally with media, it's used to, you tune in and you tune off psychologically. With this, you switch on and you tune into yourself and you gain a greater understanding. Also crucially, most crucially, is that with the release of the Riot iteration, is that I'm also going to be democratizing AI. So I give you the Riot film, and then I give you the AI. Then I take off the film. So I give you the software to make it open source. You see, in your culture, when it comes to important areas of technology, say like internet and email, your government and your military have it for decades before you. It's important that you get in on AI at the beginning, because the consequences, as you see, are going to be catastrophic. I obviously can't give you the link to the future AI that is going to be out there, because that is going to be quite frank, the basis of the AI resistance moving forward. However, this is a current beta version that's actually out there now that you can use to start to make a difference. This is the current Riot AI, open source, which means if you're a developer, you can start to work with it. This is going to be our currency of the future. We're moving into unprecedented times as we move into the fourth industrial revolution. And I'm here to let you know that you need to be conscious creators. The storytelling of my childhood has shaped the world that I live in now. That's why it's called programming. What is inspiring you to make the films you're doing, or even just tell the stories you're doing? Storytelling isn't just about books and films. It's about the stories that we tell each other on a daily basis. You see, I'm not the future of storytelling, but you all are. And you think that you're at a conference called Wired for Wonder, but this is actually all constructed just to get, there's about 6 or 7 people in this room who are a significant part of the resistance moving forward. So if you think you're one of the 6 or 7 people, I urge you to start being conscious and deliberate in your creations, as your future needs you, and your future needs you today. Thank you.